Welcome everyone to our first webinar where we will be discussing personal branding as the topic to begin with this new section and this new opportunity slash idea that I decided to carry out during the journey that I'm following in the content creation, especially on transmitting my passion about topics, about research, and one of those things is presenting, is in a way teaching and publicly speaking about different sort of topics. So for this occasion, I decided to start with one that myself I'm currently doing, which is personal branding, since it's a really strong topic, something that we all should consider, and my introduction and the first steps in this new world section. You can call it however you want. So what you will see during this hour or so, I hope, is a presentation about personal branding, different topics, all carried out through a PowerPoint that myself created based on the concepts, based on the books, and all the education that I've been learning throughout the years. For those of you that don't know, myself, I currently have a degree in marketing and market research, and then a master's, an international master's on marketing and sales management. So myself, I consider myself someone that, since it has finished studying super short, like in a few months ago, able to carry out the information that I received, expand it, and obviously put my touch on it, which is, as you will see through a presentation and through overall a really good and aesthetic, clean presentation. Okay, I'm not gonna delay any more of it. I think it's gonna be really beneficial for all of us to discover these topics, go through a super beautiful PowerPoint, and have the opportunity to learn more. Even you, myself, and everyone that could be interacting and obtaining these few grains of information. So without further delay, welcome everyone to our first session. We will be carrying those continuously through different topics, especially in marketing. But if any of you have any suggestions, please feel free to interact and comment below. Now, without further delay, like I love to say, personal branding. So here we have our first slide, the power of personal branding in marketing. So especially in carrying strategies that would allow us to achieve success in the long run. Okay, remember, all of that we're going to be seeing today is meant to be carried during a long period of time. Depending on the situations and your starting point, things will take longer or shorter, but that is depending on the individual. But no matter where you are, some of these things will be new for you and you could actually use them in your day-to-day. And for those of you that wondering why personal branding, I think it's a trend that is becoming important in today's, we live in a high competitive and fast-paced world where it's crucial to have a strong presence in brands. I myself dislike social media and all of that carries around, but I realized, despite being kind of hypocrite of myself, that if I refuse this side of the wall, I'm losing more than 50-60% of my opportunities just because I'm not present. So this is the reason that I'm doing this as my personal brand, but you can also do it for the future. And if you're wondering, well, I did this a long ago, let me tell you, it's no longer enough to just have a very good CV, like our strong set of skills, a lot of experience working. If you want to keep progressing, getting the next promotion, having security in life, or just establishing yourself in the sector you are for the long term, this is crucial, both in the personal and professional life. Now, what are we going to be seeing today? I prepared a series of contents. First of all, we'll be going through an introduction, different quotes, and content to actually give and put the first steps in branding. Then we will discover the benefits of personal branding, followed by those steps needed. In total will be 6 steps, what we will be seeing today. The role of artificial intelligence, that's brand new for all of you. I've included some little tips and tricks to actually include artificial intelligence and things that myself is doing in your personal branding strategies now. Okay, and finally, a recap, so we can summarize everything and have a clear idea of what we we will get out of it. So stay tuned until the end, because even though you're interested in only a few parts, even driving to the end point will give you the overall structure and brain map so you can actually start working on it as of today. No more delay. Introduction, as I said, what is personal branding? So I decided to carry on through several quotes so we can actually have a bit of a chit chat. Jeff Bezos defined that personal branding, or your personal brand, is what people say when you are not in a room. And I completely agree with it. And if you actually think it about the actual technical terminologies and you get off the marketing wall, we all have a reputation and an idea in others. And that idea is what they comment when we are not there. Are we actually friendly? Are we actually behaving quite bad? Are we having success? What is people thinking of us? Well, our friend has an idea of us. So if you want to actually have the closest reality to your personal brand, you can actually go and ask your friends the truth reality of how do you see me as of today? What do you think I should work and get better at? So this is what Jeff Bezos was trying to say. Then I pick William Arruda. He is a personal branding expert that I've been following for a while, and he actually made it a bit more complex, and we can learn from it. Personal brand is what sets you apart from others. It's a unique value proposition that makes you the right choice for a particular audience. Here we first see the topic of value proposition, unique in a way. We mentioned that the world we live in is high-paced, competitive, and having a strong brand is important. How do we do that? Is through the unique value proposition that is crucial for you and for me to actually hook up that audience and progress in. And now you will be wondering, well, what is that unique value proposition? Sadly, there is no right answer because anyone can has its own approach to this topic. What if you don't have any, like myself? Well, then you need to start working on the basics. So get yourself the content or build yourself basic things, even copying and adapting from others until you can actually analyze the results, get more ideas, and see what is working, what is not, and how can you give it a twist to actually adapt it to your own capabilities and your own personal liking. And the last quote, this is from Jason Hartman. He's not any branding, he's not any famous investor, but, well, he's a famous investor, but he's not a famous person, but he has a podcast and he made the fortune by real estate. And even in real estate, he has a clear idea of personal branding. Your personal brand is a promise to your clients, a promise of quality, consistency, competency, and reliability. These are key elements that we need to have clear when we are actually working with the people. Even though we haven't defined a strategy, or so we think, we have to complete these things. Quality needs to be on point. We need to be consistent. We cannot deliver one day and miss 3 in a row. We need to be competent because others will not surpass us. And finally, reliability. It's not being the best one day, it's being consistent over the following days so we don't fail. Consistency is way more important than surpassing expectations one day and failing the rest of the year. This is more of the 3 quotes that I wanted to say. There's an introduction, so we can actually see what real people think, not only you and me or what is my idea. People have already established and have clear that brand in personal is very important. So this as an introduction, but there is 3 more elements in it, which is the definition, that we actually will see a technical definition now, the importance of personal branding, and the objectives. I actually changed objectives and importance order, and you will see why. Here we have a clear definition, okay? The process of creating a unique identity for oneself, defining what sets one apart from others, and leveraging those qualities to create a positive image that resonates with one target audience. Well, let's stop here and actually think about it. We have already seen most of it, setting ourselves different from others, okay? Getting and working on those qualities to create positive impact in the people. This is the definition, pure definition of branding itself. It can be done through personal or companies, but we need to have clear the idea of setting ourselves apart from others. It's quite hard doing this as 2023 because of the high competitiveness. Since everything is so massified and worldwide communicated, it will be almost impossible to have the first idea. When actually you think you are the first one doing something, let me tell you, thousands or 2,000 or 10,000 of people before you has already had the same idea and tried. So starting from that premise of how hard it is to be different, it is not impossible by no means, because the same thing that goes for how many people can have tried things and how hard it is the same of the amount of tools and resources and ideas, and technically the possibilities that we have, it's even bigger than it was decades ago. So that's a foundation. Now, excuse me. It follows by, it is no longer enough to have a good resume or a strong set of skills. Strong personal brand can be the deciding factor in getting hired, landing a promotion, or even securing new business opportunities. This is what I was talking about for you in the beginning. These are where the personal brand will play an important role. Getting hired, this new business opportunity, your boss taking and paying attention to your new idea, these depend on the personal brand. It doesn't need to be massively well known on the internet. It can be well known in your niche of work, in your department, but it needs to be somewhere, at least somewhere, worldwide or focus in your community, but build it no matter what. I told you I changed objectives and in the importance of social media, because I actually realized objectives were more important. What do we want to achieve by having a personal brand strategy or working through several months on establishing that? Well, the first of all is visibility. If no one knows we exist, no one know or we pay attention to what we say, and then all our ideas and hard work will be wasted. It's important to grow in wider audiences. Niches, everyone talk about start on a niche. Start wherever you want, but have clear your target invisibility. And then here, social media is the key of everything. More followers, the more attractions, and then the bigger your reach is. Therefore, your network will grow faster, and you have higher chances of achieving your goal. But as always, you can increase visibility in your work, and that is actually doable through conversations, chatting with them, and working and having that presence daily. Then is engagement. Engagement is important because if we have higher rates of engagement, that means we will be resonating with the audience and connecting on a more personal level. Sharing content, what I'm doing at the end is resonating and building a strong relationship with my audience and whoever is out there. But as I always says, you can relate this also to your professional life. Reputation. If you have been growing your career based on hard work, honesty, well-being, sharing with others, it will actually impact on a more beneficial way than if you've taken the short way and have opted for more tricky and not as well-seen practices, okay? But always get something in mind that criticism, negativism is going to be present if you try to do any sort of a strategy related to branding in general. Network opportunities, I consider this to be the number one. As humans who are designed biologically to live in society, having the opportunity to connect with more and more and more people means having the opportunity to grow, learn more, and progress faster than if we were sitting alone in our basement. And then authority. Authority is something that could be seen as negative for others, but authority in your industry or in your market, it's just building the expertise and knowledge and showing others that you have it, so that you in the future can be reliable or ask for an opinion thanks to that strong reputation that you built during the years. This is a bit of the objectives. Now I want to jump into the importance. This is why I changed the order, because it's not only having an objective, that all of those things that I said, you can actually set a fixed objective and try to achieve it in your strategy in personal branding, but it is also important for things that I also been mentioning. Credibility, trust, and visibility are three of the main ones. You will be credible, trusted, and visible to the rest of the world, so you can actually share things, interact with others, and benefit for the overall interaction that Carbon World has given us, which is the worldwide connection thanks to the internet. Then those personal connections that I truly believe are wonderful, managing to connect with people on a personal level, to actually share stories and see your growth and their growth together in a journey. It's one of the most wonderful things someone in a new business or in any company can actually relate to. And then the position as a leader, because remember this, we are playing long term, and in the long term, we should actually aspire to be respected somewhat, and then if possible, as even leaders. This is the 3 main points. I'll get the definitions and importance. Now, it's time to go through another more step. The benefits of personal branding, because personal branding has some benefits. What are those benefits? Well, first of all, you establish yourself as an authority in the industry. Therefore, higher revenue, more audience, more sales. Second of all, trust and credibility will get you the following effect, which is repeatancy, recurrence of people coming back to your company or to your goal. Third of all, differentiation for competitors. If you are different from the competitors, you stood out and you have a clear and visible personal brand, you will be the go-to company in whatever you're doing, or the go-to person in whatever you're doing. And fourth of all is, once you have a strong branding and a strong foundation in your company, you can actually create new opportunities based on the cross of that personal branding, the interaction with the audience, and your own product, service, or whatever you're doing. Okay. And it's important, and I was like, to reflect this with data. Numbers are actually a really good metric to corroborate if what we are seeing or we are researching is actually logical or not. This is why, as part of my research studies, I love taking on some of them and bring you some data about these factors that we'll be talking about, like, for example, engagement. In terms of engagement, if you are actually able to apply any sort of personal branding strategy, LinkedIn provides us with the following data. An average of 0.54% of individuals who post in Instagram get higher engagement on those posts. Okay, the average is growing year by year, demonstrating that personal branding on social media can lead to higher engagement rates, therefore more audience. Other recruiting sites show that by having a strong personal brand, those candidates that apply to jobs with the previous personal branding strategy implemented, 70% of recruiters are more lean towards them, therefore ending on a 61% more employment to those candidates looking for a job with a high personal brand strategy. Trust. We have this quote or this data from Edelman that 63% of people trust influencers more than they trust brands. This is a high percentage to actually demonstrate why it's important, even if you have a company, to build your own personal brand. Sales, the big thing where money comes off. A study by Sprout Social, 75% of people have bought something because they saw it on social media. Therefore, if our strategy in social media and personal brand is higher and we have high engagement, you can see how posting in social media brings engagement up, and that engagement in social media allows to achieve higher conversion in sales. And then the networking opportunities, my favorite, by Hotsuite, says that 64% who use social media to connect with our industry are more likely to demonstrate and to grow personally in their overall career. Okay. In conclusion, this statistic and data, what shows is using a personal branding strategy in social media can lead to an increasement in engagement, better job opportunities, trust, sales improvement, network, and overall leverages that foundation and that personal brand there can achieve and can allow you to have greater success than others who are literally not doing anything and wasting that time or those opportunities. So very, very valuable information to have in mind for you and for me in the future being. Okay, so just have it in mind. Now, if you allow me a quick sip of water, we actually said that we will need a few steps to actually boost or have a better personal branding strategy. What are those steps? There are 6, and let me tell you. We're gonna go through them, and here you have it in screen. Those 6 steps. First one is self-knowledge. The second one is positioning strategy. Third one is resources. Fourth one is planification. Fifth one, interactions, and then to end up with tracking. These are the 6 steps that I will be showing you today. These 6 steps are bigger and more extent than what I'm going to solve. You can actually have multiple sub-steps or change one depending on where you are aiming for. Okay, but for these first occasions, I think this is more than enough to start with. Self-knowledge. Very, very simple, straight to the point. Understanding your values, okay? The strength and the unique selling proposition. You need to know what you're doing to begin with. And this is the harder part for me, because having a clear understanding day one of what you want to sell, what you want to do, and what is your strength, it's almost impossible, but it's still what we always say to be the first point in any personal brand strategy. Know yourself. Okay, great. What does that mean? Actually, I don't have an answer. So my approach here is that you need to actually start by something you like. In my case, my liking point is talking and communicating. Second of all, what can I do? Okay, if I like talking and I think I'm decent at it, I'm not going to say I'm good at it, what can I sell uniquely? Well, my voice, then I can actually start training. But I'm not going to wait until I train and perfection it to the extreme. I'm going to start doing something. This something is videos, podcasts, and webinars, and talking to you in front of the camera. Okay. Is that unique? No, by no means I'm being unique. Will I become unique? Depending on how hard I work for it. By actually starting with something I like, carrying on my strength, and seeing where it goes, I can actually adapt and be agile enough to have a clear understanding of what I'm doing, what is my strength, and then if I see any trends, any opportunities, or I discover something that I could implement, do it. My case was that I started doing podcasting, and now I'm doing a webinar to see how it reflects on my overall self. Okay, so that's the first point. It's hard, it's confusing, but if you can leave with 3 key questions, is what are your core values? What are your strengths and weaknesses? If you don't know them, ask for a friend or close colleague. And then what is setting you apart from others in the industry? What is the difference between you and your boss? What is the difference between you and the person next to you? What is the difference between you and a leader in a company or a billionaire? What are the difference? Write that down and start working on those that you feel more likely to carry out during the long process, on the long time, okay? Second step, positioning yourself, okay? This means defining a target audience and developing a clear message. Targeting and positioning is something I love, and I will actually make one in-depth webinar about how to target and position yourself in a market extensively and how to do that correctly. But for now is who are you trying to reach? This is a hard question, but if you're selling something, aim for a super small group. If you want to sell multiple products, get yourself only one product. Each positioning strategy should be meant for at the start, okay? One category of person, men, women, one group of age, not all the ages possible, and one product, okay? It needs to be one of each one so it can be as simple as possible and you can actually control perfectly your target, how it's behaving, and have a clear message that is fully integrated and adapted for them, okay? This will also come determined by the unique value proposition that you define on point 1, okay? But still, try and adapt with time, okay? But pretty much identify where with who people are working on, where can you actually attack, and if you're even able to see one gap of the market missing, for example, a group of age, a group of gender, wherever you see, go directly to that and try to see if it's actually something that people have left because they forgot about it, or because that's part of the market is completely unavailable and not worth exploring and exploiting. Okay. Now, once you understood your clear self-knowledge and unique value proposition, your positioning strategy, you can use all of this information to create your personal brand. Okay, from here you can also already have a personal brand, but you have few key missing elements setting you apart from others. First of all are resources. Okay, those who are out there and has strong personal brands have a lot of infrastructure, resources, capital backing them up, or they may have just been out for so long that time is preceding them and making that differentiation. You yourself having zero resources, no experience at all, and just a dream to fulfill. What do you need to do? Well, you need to take every tool possible available in the market for your business success. If you want to actually have success, you need to try and go over all of the tools, all of the social media, all of the apps to explore your content to the infinite. What will happen is for 99% of the time, all of those tools, all of those platforms will not provide anything at all. But once you have one comment, one like, one piece of feedback, you can actually start growing and expanding from them. So resources at the beginning is trying to take as much as you can, especially knowing your limitations. But most of the resources that I could recommend you is social media. Use all of them: LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. And what you need to do is have a clear strategy of how you can actually reuse content from one platform to another. So you're not working on 7 different pillars. You're working on a single column that is interconnected, and you're just reusing things over one or the other. Okay. Second of all is the content creation. High quality means having a camera, having a ring, a light ring, having a laptop, but you don't need to go to the perfection and to the high end. I myself am recording with a light ring from 12 that was 12 euros, a phone that is 150 euros, and a laptop that is mid-range. You need to have a minimum level, but one that you have that minimum level in content creation and in resources, you can actually exploit it to the infinite. For example, that's what I'm doing. And then the last resource is take everything that is free and available on the market. Look for webinars, look for events, look in your hometowns, go in companies and ask for reviews and ask for information, ask for tours, whatever. Try to talk to people. Talking is free and listening is free. And what you need is to write everything down. Write everything. It may serve you or not, but you never know. And once you're out of a webinar, out of a tour, out of a talk, you will forget most of it. So write down everything and store it in small carpets, okay? Because when you have to work on the big puzzle, that is your brand or your company, you will have already settled small mountains of pieces that you can actually now start gathering and seeing where you can actually fit those pieces one with the other. And that is the key and the beautifulness of free resources available on the internet, okay? Personal branding requires a lot of work. Self-knowledge, which is intrinsic and hard, positioning, setting a strategy and who is your target, and then actually working on all the resources needed to be done because this PowerPoint takes time and you need to work on it and it's hard. But that is, once you're done, some part of them, you've already advanced more than many people. So take them, reuse the content, and make your life easier. When we are starting, it's hard. Let me tell you, it's super hard, even for myself. But once we are already functioning, we will just be perfectioning the engine to work super smoothly over time. And that is what you and I need to aim for. But we haven't ended yet. There are 3 more. Planification. Planification means through 2 things, which are goals and timing, okay? You need to set goals. Be realistic, okay? If you want to set one big goal or 5 small ones, it's up to you, but be realistic with what you want to achieve and with how the market behaves, okay? You never know if someday you will be lucky enough to have to go viral by somehow and somehow go viral, and then from there it's more an easy ride, or having a powerful contact that you can actually skip a part of the process. But if you don't, and you're just like everyone else, go yourself, plan yourself, and make habits of daily posting, one specific time a day, one specific day of week. Set those goals. So, for example, at the beginning is don't freak out with visualization or with reach of how many people is interacting with you. Set yourself on goals that you can actually track yourself. So, first of all, track and set goals for yourself, for your own personal work. And once that personal work is giving you any sort of retribution, then set goals on that retribution on those analytics. Okay, that's my advice for people beginning. For those who just keep the hard part, track analytics. Try to push your content to achieve higher amount of metrics. If you don't manage to do them, analyze why. Analyze those ups and downs and get the always bad points too, so you can actually improve. So that's planification. Then we have interaction, and this is important. Every time someone comments you, feel grateful for that. Every time someone gives you negative advice, feel grateful for that. Feel grateful for any piece of feedback that you can have and interact with it on a positive note. Learn from those mistakes, learn from those bad comments, and imply and adjust your strategy so you can actually keep growing. And try to do it based on data, because data that you're collecting in social media or in your campaign or through a financial report or even through spoken feedback, use that, use the analytics, and then adjust your strategy. So the interaction allows you, okay, to be there, be present, okay? And now, obviously, think about making Q&As, think about asking questions to the people, ask them, force them to answer, because if not, they will be lazy, they will be super lazy and staying there at home without actually wanting to do much. And be there, be present, and make them feel part of the family. And then it's tracking, and I really kind of made it advanced. Use analytics, use data. And if you don't like it, I'm sorry. That's how it needs to go. Data is what sets the difference between selling, having benefits, not having benefits, growing or not growing. Anytime you have a piece of data, use it and try to stick to that, to learn as much as possible. Not only think what the data is giving you, think about how can the data be interpreted, how can be implemented, and how you can actually use it as much as you can without losing track of your strategy. And don't fear, before I go over AI, don't fear, by no means, to adjust things and change if needed. Don't fear change, because change is what will get you moving and through the next steps. Okay, now these are the 6 steps. I've gone quick. They are summarized and simplified. It's our first webinar, and I don't want to go too much in depth. We can actually expand the information, and I can expand that easier. I just need to know what could be interesting. So this is just the first steps. If this goes well, I will keep making the data more precise, more widely open, and in depth with examples and things like that. Today, the aim for the presentation and the webinar is to have a clear overview of where are we working and what are we working with, where and what are we working with. Now, this is my addition to personal branding, because yes, I know a lot of people are crazy with artificial intelligence, how to generate thousands of millions of dollars and blah, blah, blah. But the truth is, AI, as of today, is a tool to simplify many of the things that we need to do, okay? AI in content creation and in personal branding, so especially in content creation, social media, it's our biggest ally. And it's important that artificial intelligence, it's a complement, okay? It's by no means meant to replace your human creativity and your authenticity. If you are not real, if you are paying the plus subscription of ChatGPT-4, the content and the things you will be making will be as awful as if you didn't pay anything. It will just make the daily task, the hard ones, the one that's requiring these moments, easier. But it will not skip that we are able to come up with the namings, with the photos, or with the overall creativity of the things we're doing. Okay? That's important for us to have in mind. Okay? Now, how can how can artificial intelligence help us? Okay, pues there are three main areas, okay, and I actually briefly comment. On content creation, what you can actually do, and you're very aware of, is ask for SEO optimization. You will ask for hashtags. The ChatGPT could, or any artificial intelligence can actually help you write captations, write title ideas. If you're lacking the copywriting skills, it could give you, if you're lacking the creativity to get topics, they will give you the simplest one. Okay, then from that moment, it's up to you to actually understand how you can actually modify that content and make it unique. Okay, but getting content, that content creation is the most beneficial. And if you want pictures, videos, or things like that, free resources, artificial intelligence also does it for you. It can translate, it can translate, rephrase, whatever you want to do. Second is social media management. Now, thanks to many of these automatizations, we can have platforms and programs that automatically manage our social media comments, around analytics, when we can upload, what is the best time to upload. This management allows you to have and take less time on the tedious task that implies the social media in the personal branding department or area. And the last one is the personalization. We live in the biggest personalized area of the time. So take part of that, using in your advantage, and don't use the same boring designs, ugly ones in bad quality that you or people are being using because of the lack of effort. Put your effort in finding good editing platforms, good virtually generated photos, whatever you want to do. Find the time and make your content personalized. And once you make a personalization, that could be as simple as changing a letter font and a color, stick to that and find ways of keeping the same basic, the same structure, but be more personal and more authentic with your brand. Okay. Ooh, long chat, long conversation. Well, I actually think I'm going fast, I know. Since I have no questions, this also implies that I don't need to spend that much time answering them. Hopefully in the future, this will become a recurrent trend and we can actually even ask and answer questions from the comments. I want to conclude today and sum everything with key points. The key point is that personal branding, get the idea that it's a really powerful tool that if done properly, you will achieve success in today's digital area 100%. You need to be on top of them, be present, adapt, especially, okay? You need to develop a clear understanding of what are you doing. And that means your values, the strength, the SWOT. It's commonly known as SWOT analysis. And then you can actually define your uniqueness and find that in the market. The resources are hard to leverage, are hard to manage, but artificial intelligence will help you through that, okay? Planning will take time, but can also be automated. It's hard to do it all by oneself, but that doesn't mean that you need to do everything on the first day. Take the time, be patient, because patience is the key virtue of a long-term strategy. And keep promoting yourself, keep believing that you can achieve it, and never drop the towel, okay? Work hard in creating value, on building your relationship, and being present for everyone out there and for yourself included. I'm not gonna go much more onto it. For those of you that don't know me, I am the creator of Common Sense, which is my movement into bringing common sense to everyday life. I hope you learn something. Any tips, any strategies, well, some concepts, whatever. Okay. If you want to keep hearing more about me and being part of my community, please join, subscribe, and what I will appreciate the most is feedback of any kind. Get in contact with me. Don't worry. Be personal. I'm here to have conversations and talk with people, always through my common sense perspective and into topics. And thank you everyone that is watching this. I hope you have a great day, and definitely I'll see you soon enough.